Today we're talking about our new unit of measurement. Measurement is going to be all about segments and angles. So the length of segments and also maybe the measure of angles, which we dealt with a little bit in the last unit, but definitely more in depth for this unit. So let's go with our first definition, length. If we're talking about a segment, maybe segment LM, length is the distance from one endpoint to the other. So our example of this, let's say we want to find the length of LH. And to find the length of LH, we use LH with no marking on the top. That signifies that it's the length. We're given that value is 5, so we can say LH is 5 units. Okay. We'll also be asked to add segments. So with this, let's say that we have our segment, and we have a point in between those two endpoints. So maybe we have LH and then T in the middle. So adding segments, we're thinking about part plus part equals whole. So it's the adding of smaller segments to get a larger segment. And this is called the whole. When you add segments, you get the whole. So maybe this measure is 12, this measure is 13. To find the measure of LH, we add 12 and 13 together. So we can say LH now has a measure of 25 units. And again, I'm just using random variables and diagrams for this. When we're subtracting segments, let's say we're given a different segment, maybe that measure is MO with a point of N in the middle. We are given the measure of MO is, let's say, 40, and we're given the measure of MN is 27. So when we're subtracting segments, we're using the whole to find a part of it. So this is the part where we are finding the part of a segment. So that is to find maybe the measure of NO, because that's right the measure that we're missing. To find that measure, we're taking our whole minus our part. So 40 minus 27 to get 13 units. That's the measure of NO. Congruence. Congruence is just saying that two segments or angles are the same. So let's say we have segment NP. Segment, our congruence is just saying that two or more segments or angles are the same. We use tick marks to show congruence. So if we know that NP is 7 and PO is 7, we can conclude that NP is equal to PO, or NP is congruent to PO. So this means equal, this means congruent. And congruence uses tick marks. And this is incredibly helpful when we're labeling congruence later on. Oops, sorry about that. So now, here are some tick marks. Well, or at least our section for tick marks. Label congruent segments and also angles. So here, if we're saying this segment is congruent to this segment, we are using tick marks, maybe a dash through them. For these rectangular figures, let's say I want to say that these two segments are congruent, these two segments are congruent, maybe they're all together, so I'm going to put the same shape on it. Maybe I use a circle to show congruence. That means segments are equal. Our other example deals with angles. So with this, we want to say angle A is congruent to angle D. So I'm going to say angle A has the same measure as D. That means they are equal. So maybe 30 and 30 degrees. Now angle C and angle F, angle C and angle F are the same. Okay, we can also pull out congruent segments based off of diagrams, which we can do here. So we can match diamonds with diamonds, triangles, squares with squares, tick marks with tick marks. And to show that, we're going to use the congruent symbol. So we can see here, ED has the same symbol on BC. So I am going to write BC, segment BC, is congruent to segment ED. That means they're the same. You can also say AB is congruent to FD. So I'm going to say AB is congruent to FD. They are the same. That third missing part, that diamond, we can say AC is congruent to ED. That's how we can show congruence. I want you to try example 3. Label this using 4 different types of tick marks. Maybe a circle, maybe a triangle, maybe a square on the congruent marks only. So you should have 4 different tick marks. This I'm checking on Monday. Okay, segment addition postulate. Again, we went over this a little bit in our notes. What this means is that part, meaning AB, plus part equals the whole picture. Part plus part equals whole. Okay, let's give this a shot. We want to find the measure of AC. What 2 parts are in AC? We have this measure here, this measure here. So it's a matter of adding 5 and 12 to get 17. Okay, let's find our other missing measures here. We know from W to Z that measure is 20. From X to Z, it's 11. Are we finding a part or are we finding the whole? WX is a part. So we are going to take the whole and subtract the part from it. 9. Okay, now we have a little bit of algebra ahead of us. So for this type of problem, we want to find X when the measure of A to C is 5X. So 5X is the whole, because that's the measure of AC. Our 2 parts within AC are AB and BC. A to C has a measure of 5X. A to B has a measure of 2X plus 2. BC has a measure of 19. So it's that part plus part equals whole. I'm simplifying both of those terms, getting my x's on the left-hand side, numbers on the right-hand side. I get x is equal to 7. Can plug that back in then to find those missing measures. We want to find the measure of AB. AB has a measure of 2 times x plus 2, or 2 times 7 plus 2, to get 16. AC has a measure of 5 times 16. Oh, 5 times 7, sorry, whoops. 5 times 7, because 7 is x. 5 times 7, 35. Excellent. Okay. Let's try our example 7, and that might be about it for today. So, we know M is between L and N. You will need to create diagrams for this. So here is your line. We are given that M is between L and N. Okay, LM has a measure of 3x plus 8. MN has a measure of 2x minus 5. L to N has a measure of 23. Again, we're thinking part plus part equals whole. The part, 3x plus 8. The other part, 2x minus 5. The whole is 23. Let's combine those like terms. Subtract the 3 over, and we get x is equal to 4. Then continue to plug in to find those missing measures. Okay, then to find the measure of Ln, we're plugging in 4 for x. We solve and simplify. 12 plus 8, 20. To find the measure of Mn, it's 2 times 4, 4 times 4 minus 5 to get a measure of 3. Okay, so with this, I want you to give number 8 a shot. Pause this video, check your solution when you're done. Your first thing you should do, and I'll help you with this, is create your diagram. We know T is between R and S. So segment RS, T is between it. Create that segment, maybe create a more straight line, and label those segments to create your segment addition equation. Okay, give it a shot, pause the video, come back to it. Okay, these are the measures for X, for TS, and for RS that you should have gotten.